The fact that gold is breaking record after record right now is not a coincidence, and it's not happening because suddenly everyone loves gold again. Gold moves like this only in very specific moments of history, moments when money starts getting nervous, moments when systems start showing cracks, moments when smart capital starts preparing before problems become obvious to everyone else. And this is exactly what we are seeing right now. I'm Matteo Maglia, Partnership Manager at GloboBanks, the banking introduction company for international accounts. Now, let's take a step back and understand what is really happening. When gold reaches record levels, the mainstream explanation is always the same. Inflation, interest rates, central banks, uncertainty, all technically true, but incomplete. Gold does not move because of headlines. Gold moves because of positioning. Because large institutions, family offices, sovereign funds and long-term investors starts quietly rebalancing risk. And they do this not when the crisis is already on the news every day, but months or even years before. Today, gold is telling us something very simple. Global trust is the current financial and political equilibrium is weakening. We are coming from years of artificial stability, massive liquidity injections, emergency policies that became permanent, debt levels that would have been considered unsustainable just 10 years ago. And now, slowly, the bill is arriving. Look at the geopolitical map. Conflicts that never really ended, only frozen. New tensions emerging in places that matter for energy, trade, and supply chains. We saw a few weeks ago in Venezuela, for example, political instability in countries that were once considered safe enough. Look at public finances. Governments refinancing mountains of debt at higher rates. Central banks stuck between inflation and recession, with no clean exit. Look at social pressure. Population becoming poorer in real terms, even when the GDP numbers look acceptable. Political radicalization increasing everywhere, not decreasing. This is the environment in which gold thrives, because gold is not an investment of optimism. Gold is an insurance policy. And historically, gold starts moving before people start asking the real question. One of those questions is, what happens if 2026 is not a normal year? Because many of the structural issues we are dealing with are not short-term problems, they are multi-year adjustments. Debt doesn't disappear, currency credibility doesn't reset overnight. Trust in institutions, once damaged, takes a long time to rebuild. That's why many analysts are now openly talking about 2026 as a key stress point, not necessarily a single dramatic event, but a convergence of pressures. Economic pressure, geopolitical pressure, financial system pressure. And here is the part most people underestimate. When stress increases, rules change. Not officially, not with announcements, but operationally. Banks become more selective, compliance becomes stricter, access becomes conditional. We have already seen this pattern before. Accounts closed for risk reasons, transactions delayed for additional checks, and limits imposed without negotiations. And this for sure doesn't affect only small clients or problematic profiles. It increasingly affects normal individuals, entrepreneurs, and even high net worth clients. Because when systems are under pressure, bank protects themselves first. This is where the gold signal connects directly to the banking system. When larger players increase gold exposure, they are not only hedging inflation, they are hedging counterparty risk, systemic risk, access risk. They are asking a very simple question. If something goes wrong, where is my value actually stored? And this question applies to everyone, not just institutions. Because money today is mostly digital promises, entries on balance sheets dependent on system working smoothly. As long as everything is stable, nobody cares. But stability is exactly what gold is questioning right now. This does not mean panic. It does not mean the world is ending tomorrow. It means preparation matters again. For years, people were told that efficiency was everything. One bank, one jurisdiction, one structure. Today, that mindset is becoming very dangerous. Diversification is no longer about returns. It's about access, optionality, resilience, and this is where the banking side becomes relevant. Not because of speculation, not because of fear-mongering, not because structure matters when conditions change. Different banks behave differently under stress. Different jurisdictions apply rules differently. Different relationships offer different levels of protection and flexibility. This is something we see every single day. Two clients with the same net worth, same country of residence, same activity, completely different outcomes depending on how their banking setup is structured. One experiences delays, restrictions, unexpected closures. The other operates normally, even during turbulent periods. The difference is rarely luck, it's preparation. And gold is simply the messenger reminding everyone that the environment is shifting. The smart move is not to react emotionally. The smart move is to ask the right questions early. Where is my liquidity held? Under which legal framework? With which type of institution? And how exposed am I to unilateral decisions? Because in stressed environments, decisions are rarely negotiable. Now, to be clear, this is not about hiding. This is not about escaping rules. This is about understanding how systems actually work when pressures increase. And 2026, whether people like it or not, is shaping up to be a year that understanding will matter. Goal-breaking records is not the story, it's the signal. The story is what happens next, and whether people are positioned for stability or vulnerability. If there is one takeaway from this moment, it is this. Do not wait for problems to become visible before adjusting your structure, because by then, options are fewer, slower, and more expensive. Preparation is boring until it isn't. And gold, once again, is reminding us of that. If you want to understand how this connects to your specific situation, your banking setup, your exposure, for example, and your level of flexibility going into the next years, that analysis has to be done calmly, rationally, and in advantage. That's the difference between reacting and positioning. And this story is very clear on which one works better. If you need a consultation, you can find a link below and we will assist you for sure. Let's see in the next video.